Hello, everyone. This is Jerry. Uh, I've got some information for you about investing in single family homes. Now, I'm an old guy, there's no doubt about that. I've got like 40 years' experience in the single family home rental business. So, anyway, I got started when I was like 37 years old, and I've been in it about 40 years. So, I have now sold my last property. Yeah, I did one of these things that you're not supposed to do when you own real estate is to sell. Anyway, I sold them all, and I want to give you my 40 years experience with it. And I think you'll get some good information out of this. Of course, it's a free thing. I'm not getting any money out of it. I just thought, well, I could do this, let people know how I made some money in it. The number one thing we need to talk about today is why real estate is a good investment. Well, after water and food, shelter is a human necessity. Everyone must have it. Depending on the climate and the weather conditions, without shelter, you would perish in a short period of time. Even the most basic shelter would provide some protection from nature's elements. People who find themselves lost in a wilderness will find that they need to have shelter as soon as possible. Yes, people can be homeless and live on the street, so they don't need to have shelter. Well, someone has to provide it, such as homeless shelters, soup kitchens, and so on, so on. So indirectly, they need shelter too, and someone provides it. How does this translate to a person interested in owning real estate? It simply means that you will have a steady demand for your product that will not go away. The product is a single family home. The reason I'm defining the real estate product here as a single family home is because it has the strongest demand of all real estate. It has the strongest demand for ownership in the rental market and other types of real estate. There are many types of real estate out there, residential, acreage, such as farms, ranches, resort property, industrial property, commercial property, and etc. I think some real estate investments are more risky than others, and I tend to shy away from speculative real estate investments. Of course, fortunes have been made and lost in these sort of investments, but I will not discuss those here other than to say number one, they require a lot of experience. Number two, you have to get the timing just right, and you got to have some capital. You got to have a lot of capital to be successful. My advice is to focus on the single family homes. You will have a better chance of success. And remember, I said chance, not guaranteed. None of this is guaranteed. People owning their own homes is one of the strongest desires in human nature. It is the independence it brings and the feeling of accomplishment. A government study in 2020 indicated that owning your own home was the single best investment you can make. I would take that a little further. Owning as many single family homes as you can reasonably manage would be the best investment you can make. Why is this? Why is real estate, such as a single family home, such a good investment? The reason is simple. Single family homes, with very few exceptions, appreciate in value. When the value of homes start to rise in a given market, rents will rise in response, and your net worth, and more importantly, your income will rise at that point and as time goes by. The important thing here is one of the value of homes increased due to a number of factors. One of the most important factors is supply and demand. Supply and demand is a market force that time excludes what the home costs to buy. In other words, a house may cost only $200,000 to build, including the lot. But due to market forces of supply and demand, the house would bring $225,000. In other words, there are buyers willing to pay more than the house is worth because it could be built and is ready to be occupied right now. The buyers don't want to wait 6 months to a year to get their house built. Of course, market factors can be negative, and it has happened in some areas of the country where there was a lack of demand due to corporate downsizing, etc. Homes have decreased in value. This was caused by sellers placing more homes on the market in a particular locality could consume in a given time period. Again, supply and demand played against the sellers of homes in this instance. Along with decreasing values of homes, the rental market was also deflated, again by supply and demand. There was a sudden surge of homes for rent, causing rents to be more competitive between existing owners, thereby driving rents down. The amount of deflation depends on the market. If such things as corporate downsizing or closing occurs in a relatively small city with thousands of workers living nearby, you can expect what we call in the real estate business as a bloodbath of declining real estate prices in that city and neighboring communities. As soon as the housing oversupply is consumed and the market's prices tend to flatten, then they may or may not start to rise again depending on supply and demand. Another factor that causes the value of homes to increase is the cost of the lot to build a home on. The raw land that the home is to be built on is priced due to supply and demand. Location of the lot, size of the trees, ponds, streams, and views deemed positive or negative when compared with similar lots or in a subdivision. Also, the price of the lot will include the developer's cost to build streets, install public lighting, sidewalks, obtain permits, design costs, legal fees, and etc. The developer expects to make a profit with his investment, so the profit will be included in the price as well. Here's an example. For instance, a lot in a subdivision is located next to a main highway. May be priced less than a lot in the back of the subdivision with large trees and a small creek at the back of the property. In some communities, lots to build homes may be scarce due to lack of developer interest in starting new subdivision. In this instance, lots may be overpriced due to lack of supply. This usually results in older homes being moved or torn down to make room for a new home on the lot. When you start to see this in a community, that will usually translate to a lack of available or desirable lots to build on, and possibly premium prices on the available lots. I would also define the neighborhood in this situation as being very desirable location compared to other neighborhoods. Construction costs to build the improvement, quote, on the lot. The word improvement, quote, is simply means the home, including driveways, sidewalks, porches, garage, septic tanks, basements, and so on. Generally, the price of building a home increases with about the pace of inflation, or the costs could be flat if material and labor costs are holding pretty steady. If you live in an area where labor unions permeate the construction industry, labor costs would trend up depending on the contracts that are in place with local union shops. Other costs of building a home are seldom thought of are architectural fees, permits, penalties, taxes, trash removal, excavation of rock, gravel, sand, and dirt hauling. The last item, excavation, can be a real shocker if your lot is subject to the presence of large underground or subsurface rocks. It must be removed for foundation works to proceed. I had a lot like that once, and that's what happened. They were charging like $12.50 a day for an excavator and a rock crusher on my property. Didn't take them long to finish the job, but I was a little nervous about that. Okay, well, we'll talk with more subjects later on. Thank you.